It doesn't take a physical wound for a child to suffer profound trauma that haunts them for years and decades. So, I think when we talk about, 41,000 people last year died in America from gun violence. It was the worst year in modern American history. But that 41,000 number is a fraction of the number of people, and especially kids, who were profoundly affected by those shootings. We looked at one school year a couple of years ago and found that more than 4 million kids had been through lockdowns. So this is not lockdown drills where the school says, okay, everybody hide. This is an actual lockdown. And the vast majority of those were caused by gun violence. So what that means is that a meaningful percentage of those kids thought they were going to get shot in their school. And I know that because the kids would text their parents goodbye. They would write goodbye letters. These kids, so even if it's just 10 or 15 seconds or a few minutes or an hour, those are things that can linger and linger and linger. But these are the things that we often overlook. One reason that we didn't have a lot of mass shootings last year, in all likelihood, is because
the lockdown. Yeah.
Right. Schools were closed, right? People weren't gathering. I mean, that's such a sad statement on where America is, that it takes people being confined in their homes, and it takes kids not going to schools for the mass shootings to stop. And really, the moment that we saw this relax, there's 2 mass shootings. Some of these really common sense pieces of legislation that are backed, by the way, overwhelmingly by all Americans, not just, people who are opposed to guns. Gun owners support things like universal background checks. They support another law that people barely ever talk about, and those are laws that prevent children from getting access to guns. Laws that demand that gun owners lock them up so that kids don't get them, because children are being shot every day. During this conversation, a child will probably find a gun and shoot himself or somebody else. So, really what needs to happen on Capitol Hill is if they voted the way that their constituents frankly wanted them to, then some of these really common sense laws would get passed. And we're not going to go from 41,000 dead to 0. But if you could go from 41,000 to 25,000, that'd be worth it. And there are laws that would not deprive law-abiding gun owners of keeping their weapons. And they would still save thousands of lives, and they would save hundreds and hundreds of kids, tens of thousands of kids, frankly, from either getting shot themselves or suffering profound trauma that's going to stick with them for decades.